What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the road trip for our first away game of the season. Man United taking on Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium later on today. 5:30 kickoff UK time. Guys, show some fight. Show that the mentality's changed. That's what I'm on, because this season, right, needs to be the season whereby our away form is sorted. It has to be, because last year was an absolute disgrace. We were a soft touch on the road, zero mentality last year, especially in all the big games against the top six, and we would just falter. We'd just buckle. Any form of pressure that was put upon us, right, away from home against the bigger teams and even some of the smaller teams actually, we just buckle. We just buckle under pressure, and that's what I want to see change this year. Now, it's difficult because the game against Wolves doesn't fill us with much confidence, and also not enough time has gone past since, you know, last season, and obviously in pre-season where we weren't really sure what we were seeing. Not a lot has really happened to make us think otherwise, that, you know, it's changed now and the mentality is different, and, you know, but this is something the players will be aware of, and obviously Ten Hag would have been prepping for, as he's completely aware that our away form last year was not good enough. And you couple that with the fact that this is Spurs' first home game, Ange Postecoglou's his first Premier League game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The fans, it's a new start for them, it's a new dawn, it's a new Spurs. And, you know, we spoke to Tobes yesterday, and what did he say? He said there's going to be flipping tifos unveiled, the stadium's going to be bouncing, and they know that, you know, last season, the Jose era, the Antonio Conte era, the Espirito Santos era, the Ryan Mason temporary era, all this Delaney, all of that crap that they've had to endure, the Harry Kane era as well, first home Premier League game without him, all of those eras have come to an end. And as a Spurs fan, they're thinking, this is our job to just get behind this new manager and make this place a fortress. Couple that as well with the fact that Spurs have not beaten us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. We're one of the only teams that they haven't beat there. So look, there's two ways of looking at this. There's, you know, if we keep the crowd down and keep the crowd quiet, control the game, don't make it frantic, don't let them be all over us, and don't have big holes in our midfield, and give the Tottenham fans something to cheer about, then, you know, we can have a good afternoon or a good evening. But I don't know, something tells me it's going to be a really difficult game. I think for us, what does Ten Hag do? Does he change that midfield? Would you change that midfield? I don't know. I kind of, there's something that I like about trying to find a balance with it, though. You know what I mean? If it starts not working in game, then okay, fair enough. We have to look at how we do it, how we change things. But I just think it may send the wrong message to the players if he changes the midfield at the first time of there being a little bit of adversity, i.e. against Wolves. I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think Ten Hag will go with the same midfield, but he would have had a word with them on basically how to play that, you know, because there was too many gaps in it. The distances between Casemiro and the other two in Mount and Bruno were far too big, and it was a massive struggle. And on top of that, we didn't take care of the ball in the final third. So when we were on the attack, we were having cheap turnovers with loads of players committed forward, and that just left Casemiro and the defenders absolutely stretched. I think Ten Hag would hopefully have worked on that during the week to sort of emphasise, one, the importance of not losing the ball high up, but two, the importance of the distances not being that big in midfield. Then obviously with the front three, because that was another reason why we played so poorly, is that none of the front three could get it together. The ball retention was poor. Cam had a clip in a tactical view where about 3 players were making exactly the same run in exactly the same area of the pitch. You know, so the cohesion and the types of runs we were making weren't there. Being able to make the right decisions on the ball, final end product, end decisions, they all weren't there, from Anthony to Rashford to Garnacho, and it didn't change when we made the changes. Although Sancho looked a bit better when he came on. So I think he'll keep the midfield the same. Now, also the second thing is what would he do with Garnacho? I can't see him starting again after having such a bad game at home to Wolves. I think to start him away at Spurs would be not stupid, but I think would be a huge risk, and I don't think Ten Hag will be prepared to take that risk. So I think Jadon Sancho will almost certainly come into the side. Now, we have seen Jadon Sancho being operating in the false nine all throughout pre-season, partly because we didn't have a striker there, and partly because, you know, Rashford wasn't there at the start. Does he go with Jadon Sancho in the false nine and put Marcus Rashford back to his position? But bearing in mind, when we played against Spurs last year, even though it's a different type of Spurs, it was Marcus Rashford up front and Jadon Sancho on the left. And he cut inside, scored a fantastic goal. You know, Marcus Rashford scored a great goal, running through the middle, ball over the top from Bruno, and was 1-on-1 against their defenders. If you look at it like that, there's going to be space in behind. Spurs will give you chances. Listen, Spurs aren't perfect. Spurs aren't great. You know, I watched them against Brentford. There's things that Ange Postecoglou has changed in a short space of time. You can see Bissouma is running the show. You've got Maddison getting on the ball. He's, you know, dictating play and he got 2 assists. So those are the positives. But if I look at some of the negatives, it's still Emerson Royal. I don't know what's happening with Romero, whether he's going to play or not. If it's Davies and Sanchez, you know he's suspect. Is it Mickey van der Ven? He's new. It's his first game. We want to put some pressure on him. I think Udogie as well at left back. He looks quite combative, actually. He looks quite good match-up between him and Anthony. But still some unknowns there. Richarlison, you're expecting Varane and Martinez to be able to marshal Richarlison. I don't rate him, but again, typical, he'll probably score today. You know, Kulusevski against Luke Shaw. You're looking at that and thinking, you know, Kulusevski's a good player, but I fancy Luke Shaw to be composed as ever, and Wan-Bissaka, which I think it probably will be, going up against Son. So, and obviously Son did score and caused quite a few problems last year, so should have scored more actually. So look, it can be an even game, but like I said to Toby, I think if we turn up and play properly and we'll play 7 out of 10s, we win the game because we've got better players all over the pitch than them. But it's mentality. You know, when Man United get it stuck on them, when we get it put on us away from home, we fold, and that's what I'm worried about. You know, that midfield. I mean, the other options, what he could do is what has been happening in big games, is putting Bruno out to the right, or maybe because of Mason Mount's versatility, maybe put him out to the right and bring in the likes of a Scott McTominay or a Christian Eriksen. Now, personally, if we're going to make a midfield change, I wouldn't bring Eriksen in. I'd bring McTominay in if we're going to make a change. I'd bring him in alongside Casemiro and then have Bruno in the 10 and potentially put Mason Mount out on the right. I don't like Bruno out on the right. I think he's wasted there. Yes, if he's open and there's not much pressure on him, he can pick a pass. He can always pick a pass. He's Bruno, but his best work's done in the middle. I don't like when we shift him out to the right hand side. It's just redundant. Honestly, this might sound weird, but you're better off just having Pellistri there. If you're going to do that, just play Pellistri then. At least you're keeping a natural winger in his natural position, and you're keeping Bruno where he is. I mean, that's never going to happen, but that's just my feelings on Bruno out wide. I hate it. Anthony, look, we know what he can give when he's at it. There's little shades of what he can offer, but he hasn't been at it. But I expect a big game from him if he starts as well. Mason Mount, I think Ten Hag's bought him to predominantly be a central midfielder, attacking number 8. So will he want to abort that plan and put him on the right hand side? I'm not too sure. So listen, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what Ten Hag has up his sleeve. But I think the most nailed on change is Garnacho for Sancho, and I think the rest of the team stays the same. I think there'll be one change, and I think you'll see how we go. But I think this time, if it does go wrong in midfield, he ain't going to be scared to change it. My prediction, I went 2-1 in the preview. I'm going to stick with that. I think it's going to be a tough afternoon, man. I really do. I don't think this game's going to be easy at all. However, I don't expect us to be anywhere near as bad as we were at home to Wolves. And if we are, that would really be a shock, because if we play as badly as we did against Wolves, against Spurs, it's going to be an easy evening for Spurs, I'll tell you that. So, yes. I'm going to be in the studio, guys. I'm going to be in the studio, so make sure you tune into the match view, me and all the rest of the guys, and full-time view as well. Make sure, if you're a member, you can have your say. You can call in live to speak with Owen and have your say on the United view. If you're not a member, it's never too late to do so. One of the members' perks, every single match day from wherever you are around the world. It doesn't matter where, you can call in and have your say. So make sure you get involved in that. Take care, guys. Peace.